Hi, welcome to Azariah's Fiber Arts. My name is Sarah, and I am the artist and designer behind Azariah's Fiber Arts. Hit the like or subscribe button anytime while you're watching. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to show you how to work the 3-needle bind off. You want to knit your little squares, follow these instructions, or if you have them left over from doing the mattress stitch, then just take out the bind off. So you have your squares. You will need 2, so hopefully you made 2 as the instructions said. I'm just going to put him on the needle. Make sure the stitches are the way you want them. There's not going to be a lot of opportunity to retwist them. All right. I'm going to get the second one on the needle. This is where you want to think ahead a little bit. So when you work the 3-needle bind off, you work it with the right sides together. So if I put this one on the needle this way, because I'm working on single point needles, when I put it right sides together, my stitches are not going to come off as I need them to. So I actually need to very carefully take out the entire bind off. And then put the stitches onto this needle. I recommend working on double points if it's a small enough seam, and if it's not, then to use a circular needle so you can readjust things as needed. Again, make sure your stitches are all pointed the direction that you want them to be. All right, I have them on the needles. Let's count, make sure you have the right number of stitches because that's key. Okay. Now, it's called a 3-needle bind off, but I only have 2 needles here, so we're going to grab a third. I've got a piece of scrap yarn. We're going to knit these 2 stitches together as if they are one. So you get one from the front, one from the back, and knit them together. Now that I have 2 on the receiving needle, we're going to pass the slip one over, or we're going to pass the first one over. This is one of those situations where you might want to use a bigger needle for this receiving needle to make sure that your bind off is not too tight, especially if it's in a shoulder area, even the bottom of a bag. You want the seam to be able to block properly. So using a needle that is a size, maybe 2 if you're a tight knitter, larger than the giving needles is completely acceptable. This 3-needle bind off comes in handy in a lot of places. I've already mentioned in a shoulder, also in the bottom of a bag. I'm trying to think where else. I think I've used it on like the bottom of a scarf. There's a lot of different places. It can help you get creative and think of construction of your knits just a little bit differently. It's a really good tool to have in your bag. It's also very sturdy as a seam and will do better than like a Kitchener seam. I don't know that I would do it in socks because the toe of a sock is not weight bearing as the shoulder of a sweater is. And that, while it's not a lot, we'll look at it in a second, how bulky of a seam it really is. And while it's not a lot, toes are sensitive. So let's treat them nicely. Kitchener's an appropriate place for that particular seam. And just continue all the way to the end. The last two here. Get a little fiddly. So we got ends coming out and things like that. Pass this one over. And then just finish off as you normally would. I'm not going to pull it too tight because I want to be able to pull it out. Okay. So here's one side of the seam. Here's the other side of the seam. These are both the wrong side. Now the outside, the public side of the seam, it's not as smooth and, I'm trying to think, what would I call it? I mean, there's an obvious transition aside from the color differences. It's not Kitchener, don't get me wrong. Now, let's see if we can get the camera to pick it up. Yeah, a little bit. There is the slightest ridge. And like I said, it's not bad. Not bad at all. Yes, this is sock weight, fingering weight yarn. But even in a larger, it's not a larger weight yarn. Most of the items that we're going to be using this particular seam in are not necessarily going to be next to the skin. And if it's somebody who's particularly sensitive, they're probably going to be wearing an undershirt anyway. And I wouldn't worry about the seam even in a worsted weight sweater. All right, 3 needle bind off. If this tutorial was helpful for you, please hit the like button. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thank you for watching. If you have more questions, you're welcome to leave a comment below or email me, Sarah@azariasfiberarts.com. Happy making!